Aztecs Now with head coach Rocky Long. And I know it's almost because there's no game, so we haven't been with you for a week. But I don't want to rehash is not the word. Just kind of update us on some of the stuff because people are wondering about the Michigan game. And I'm assuming, put it, I guess, stupidly, that you were not satisfied with the first half. And I would think defensively overall and getting turnovers that you were satisfied with the second half. True?
Well, I thought we played poorly on defense in the first half, and I thought the offense moved the ball pretty well. Other than a holding penalty and a fumble here and there, they moved the ball pretty well. In the second half, I thought the defense played much better, and I didn't think the offense played very well. So we were a little off kilter the whole day. Now, some of that you got to give credit to Michigan some too. I just saw where they beat Minnesota 58-0, so maybe they were a little bit better than everybody thought they were.
And that's what I was going to ask you in terms of, because you watch it, coaches always say, I watch on tape, and it's they can't get the real feel of the team, the speed of a team. Were they better than they looked on tape? Were they better? Were they faster or not?
Well, I think they were better at the line of scrimmage than we thought. Better on the offensive and defensive line. The rest of the skill positions are kind of what we thought, except the quarterback was quicker and faster than he looks on film. You see him on film and nobody can tackle him, and you go, why? Because he doesn't look like it, and then you get out there and you can't tackle him either. So he's a special player, and I thought he was the difference in the game.
Rocky, have you ever seen, I mean, I can gauge, I think, the speed of a Michael Vick or somebody like that playing that position. You ever seen a faster guy like that play for quarterback? I haven't.
No, and I don't think I've seen many faster guys on a football field. Now, his specialty is quickness. I mean, he can jump backwards and change direction so quick that even when you think you have him, and at times we had two guys spying him. There was one time we had two guys spying him. He made both of them miss and gained about 40 yards. So I've never seen anyone quite that quick with the football at quarterback position.
And we talked about in getting together the last time before that game about, you saying, hey, I got to change my signals. They know all my signals. They've been here. They know what I'm doing. I can't have Al Borges looking and say, oh, they're blitzing now. You have to change it. So you went to these, which I thought was creative. I don't know whose idea that was, of having pictures of the coaches that went to Michigan. What that had to be a turnaround that, like we said, they didn't have to change anything, and you did. You were, whether you want to say it or not, you were at a disadvantage, and you thought that going in. Did you not?
Well, I thought they had an advantage because they knew our team better than we knew theirs.
Sure.
But I thought we could make up for that with the emotion and try and effort. And I think our team played hard. I don't think our team played very smart, and I think they got caught up in the hype. And when you get caught up in the hype, you usually don't play to your abilities. You're emotional, but you don't play smart. You don't play sharp. You're trying to make a point for something other than you should. You should be trying to make the point you're the better football team. You're not making the point that, hey, we're going to show you should have never left.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And I came back from Michigan and did a Padre game. We went to Clubhouse, and these guys, are big into Aztec. Even the guys that are not, from this area are big into it. And they thought, man, I want to see Ryan Lindley at his best. I like that guy. Got a quick release, big, strong guy, prototypical NFL type. They were disappointed because Ryan didn't have his best day. I'm assuming that Michigan, like you said, defensively with pressure and defeating at the line of scrimmage your offensive line, which nobody really had done, did he have a bad day, or was it Michigan, or a combination thereof?
I think it was a combination. I think Ryan wanted to play so well for a lot of reasons that he put a little pressure on himself. He was trying to get to his progression a little too fast. He was trying to get rid of the ball a little too quick. There was a little more pressure than he's been used to, but the pressure wasn't ridiculous. I mean, you expect a veteran quarterback to play better than that, and I think he got caught up in the hype too.
And I understand. I walked out there, Rocky. It was just this big house. It's enormous. And you said you'd been there before with UCLA, but that is, aside from the game, it is a wonderful college atmosphere, is it not? I mean, it is what football in this country is about. It's awesome.
Yeah, you don't get better than that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
With that kind of crowd, and obviously they're supporting the home team. But,
sure.
But that setting's beautiful, and that setting's what college football's all about. But you have to be able to handle that. No matter how many times you're in that situation, you got to handle it like it's a regular football game. If you get caught up in the crowd and the emotion of the game, you're not going to play to your best. And I think we did. We didn't play to our best, and I think we got caught up.
Rob Andrews, in terms of his injury, that looks like long term, does it not?
They say 6 to 8 weeks. So he's going to be out for a while. He actually thinks he did it in the Washington State game. He felt it then. He played with it in the whole Michigan game and felt it then. And then we went out to practice, and it got worse in practice. So they x-rayed him, and he had a broken foot. It's already been operated on. They put a pin in, and they say 6 to 8 weeks.
Son of a gun. And actually, considering, the hitting going on out there in a game like that, I thought overall, and you had to this point, knock on wood if you have any wood around, that the injuries haven't been that bad, honestly. So, and Miles Burris has the high ankle sprain, and I assume it's good to have this time off to do this, but this is odd, isn't it, to have 2 weeks and then play and then turn around and have a Thursday game? The schedule maker wasn't happy. Wasn't kind to you.
No, they weren't being nice to us. The bye week now is not too bad. After 4 weeks, the bye week's okay. What's really the problem is we play TCU and Air Force in about a 5-day span, and then we get 16 days off. That makes no sense to me.
None. It is what it is, and they got to play them. I understand that. We will continue here and talk about that TCU team that never loses at home, but did, and now comes to San Diego. As Aztec Now with Rocky Long continues in a minute.
Draw play, here he comes. There breaks the tackle. He's going to score! Marshall Faulk explodes across the middle. Touchdown!
Aztec for life. You know.
Back with Rocky Long for TCU. And I don't know about the talk about, well, they lost this guy and Curley and so forth. They're not as good. I watched that game, the entire game against SMU, which is under June Jones, our dear friend, really, really good now offensively. TCU looked awfully good to me, losing or not.
TCU is good. I mean, they're one of the top 20 teams in the country. Now, they've lost 2 games.
Yep.
And Baylor did a great job on offense and outscored them. And SMU did a great job on offense and outscored them. So I guess we're going to have to do a great job on offense and outscore them because they play pretty good defense. I don't think they lost some guys on the defensive line. They lost a couple DBs that they're easing into shape in those positions. On offense, they're very good. They lost a senior quarterback that had been their starter for 3 or 4 years, but they score a lot of points, gain a lot of yards. They're a really good football team. And they play really well when they're wounded, and right now they're wounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, angry. Yeah, I feel like I did the Charger broadcast when June was here, and I felt like calling June saying, hey, you didn't do Rocky any favors here. Now they hadn't lost in 22 straight games at home. Now they're going to be really angry when they come in here. Thanks a lot, June. But, they're just good. They do a lot of this. You talk about team speed. They get all these high school halfbacks, running backs, we call them now, and turn them into linebackers and defensive ends. It really has worked for him, hasn't it?
Oh, it's a great concept, and now everybody's copying it.
Yeah.
They do a great job of evaluating players, and like you say, they'll be the fastest team we play all year. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter who you play. They're going to be as fast or faster than anybody you play, and mostly it's because they have such great skill at all the positions, and a lot of them are ex-running backs.
Yeah. What do you have to do? I know that coaches a lot of times put on, keys to the game, what we have to do. What do you have to do to beat this particular team?
We got to play really good on offense. We got to keep the ball away from them. We got to score some points. And on defense, we got to control them. We're not going to stop them. Control them and cause some turnovers to give our offense a short field. It'll be a shootout. And whoever has the ball and does the best with the ball in their hands or scores the most points is going to win. On defense, since I have my heart is on defense,
sure.
We hope that we can keep it low scoring, but I've seen them too much to know that it's going to be a low scoring game.
This particular, and people I think now, the Michigan game was so huge. It was so, there were so many attendance stories, including you and Brady and all this stuff and all that they forget, I think, that if I came to you in 2 days and said, hey, did you take 3 and 1? I think you would have taken that. I think this is still, despite Michigan, I'm assuming you're happy with the start.
Well, I think we started okay. We're disappointed.
Sure.
Whenever you win a game, you want to win the next one.
Right.
And we won the first 3 and wanted to win the next one really bad and didn't do it. So we're disappointed the way it turned out. But if you were, if early in the season or before the season started, if you were saying you're going to be 3 and 1, I think everybody would have said okay.
No question.
But now we get in the conference and they get a little bit more important.
We're going to talk to Jake Feely here shortly, and this is a guy listed at 5'11", 200 pounds. Give me a scouting report on this number 42 in terms of what he does, how he does it, and the speed that he does it at.
Well, he's got good speed and quickness. He understands the game. He has great reaction to a play. I mean, a lot of people, that's natural too. He's one of those guys naturally recognizes what play it is and reacts accordingly. So with speed and quickness, that allows him to make a lot of plays because he's addressing the situation quicker than most. He sees what it is and he goes. A lot of people have to see and see and see and then they go. Well, he doesn't. He sees it and he goes. It allows him to make a lot of plays. He's at a disadvantage a little bit because he's undersized.
Right.
But I think he makes up for it in his recognition of the play and how fast he gets there.
And I mentioned June Jones at SMU, and now Gary Patterson coming in. Aren't you glad all that Rocky Brady stuff is behind you? I got the feeling, I think knowing you better and better, that you really could have lived with all that. You could have lived without that stuff. It really bothered you in terms of, hey, man, I'm not playing, he's not playing. Let's just play the game. Did it kind of get to you and said, enough already?
Well, you get tired of it, but I don't think it got to me. But I think he was going through the same thing.
Sure.
I think he felt the same way, and I think both of us were glad the game was there and the game's over. Now, we're not glad because we'd like a rematch, but I'm sure he's happy it's over and that they won. And we're happy it's over, but we're disappointed we lost.
Well said. That's Rocky Long. It is 3-1. A huge game in terms of in-conference and TCU on Saturday. We will continue here with more on Aztecs Now.
Hands it off, slam dunk. The crowd going bananas. Strahan baseline for three, got it. Here come the Aztecs. Alley-oop to Jamal Franklin. Slam dunk.
Don't stop believing.
Back in Aztecs Now with linebacker number 42, Jake Feely from Oceanside, California. Redshirt freshman from injury a year ago, and now walks in. And when the team buses arrived at Michigan, I personally had not broadcast the 2004 game because of a Padre broadcast conflict. And I walked in, even empty. I thought, big house, enormous house. I mean, gigantic house. What was it like on the field when it was full later?
I mean, it was super loud. It was pretty intense. I mean, there's a lot of their fans are yelling, you know, saying that we suck, but we got to go out there and do what we had to do. And I mean, it was pretty amazing to see how that was that many people. It was like pretty much our stadium, but super packed. You know, every seat was filled, pretty much all the press boxes. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just an amazing atmosphere. It is that. But what happened in terms of? And again, because coaches always said, I don't care if it's Big Ten or Pac-12, we can play with anybody, he says. But early on, was it nerves? Was it the crowd? Was it trying to do too much? What happened?
I think personally we got too high. We got caught up in the hype of the game. You know, we like everyone was trying to hype this game up, make it seeming that it was a big game, and we even got caught in the hype, thinking that this is a big team. Maybe we should like get more hype for this game, and I think we just took it too far. But we made a couple of assignment errors too that got us in the beginning of the game, but we held our ground at the end of the game, and that's all that matters. And
were you satisfied with that? Because it appeared clearly. I mean, you guys force 4 turnovers. You're going to beat most clubs. Didn't do it at Michigan in that particular atmosphere. But did you think you played a lot better? Were you satisfied? Is what I'm going for in the second half defensively.
No, we can't be satisfied. I mean, of course, we created 4 turnovers, but the scoreboard, obviously, we wanted to come out with the W. And if the offense needs the ball, we need to get them the ball, create more turnovers, or get the offense on the ball, three and out all the time.
This being too hyped, too amped up for the game, was that mostly Michigan, quote unquote, or the crowd, or was it Brady Hoke, Rocky Long, and all that publicity that attended this?
Maybe it could have been all the publicity of the Brady Hoke and everything, but mainly it was just because we were playing a big team, packed, Michigan, a big team.
Yeah.
We just wanted to come out with a big win, but we got too hyped, and this is what we wanted to compete, and we just getting too hyped before the game just got us a little off guard, caught us off guard, but tough loss.
No question.
Hey,
no question. You yourself, people have talked about this for 1,000 years. In fact, when Brady arrived, and I've been here when the previous 9 coaches arrived, we got a put this fence around San Diego and keep these local kids. You are one. And there's 5 other guys from Oceanside High that have come here. Why has it been a matter of winning or what? Give me your thought process, because you could have gone to BYU, you know that. Colorado State and a bunch of others wanted you. What was your thought process to stay home?
My thought process, because I wanted my family to always come and watch me at my games, and I thought if I were to go somewhere else, they wouldn't be able to catch many of my games. So I came here locally, but also because I knew a couple of my other friends were probably going to get a scholarship here locally, so I came here too. But it would be nice to keep all the local kids local. Yeah, that would be great, but you know, maybe it is because of our record that kids don't come here mostly, but we're turning this program around, so.
Yeah, you would think based on 9 and 4
Yeah.
and the Poinsettia Bowl and the beginning this year in terms of the wins before Michigan that that has changed, in fact, without any question. You are, and this again, you know this is linebacker, this is quarterback you, it's defensive back you, it's linebacker you. Heath Farwell and Kirk Morrison and all these guys and Freddie Keaho, they've all gone to the National Football League. And Freddie, Freddie was about your size. He wasn't that much bigger than you are. They list you at 5'10", 200. Is that accurate?
I believe so, yes.
And you know that's small for a linebacker.
Yes, it is.
How, in terms of shedding blockers and doing what you have to do, can you do it at that size? Or does speed make up for it?
Speed makes up for it most of the time, I think, personally, but when you're in the middle and your defense depends on you, all your other teammates depend on you, you got to do the job. So taking on those big blocks, you got to do it.
And take it on. I meant to ask Jerome Long this because he wrestled in high school. You wrestled in high school at Oceanside. And I've always wondered, having actually broadcast wrestling at Oklahoma State. In Oklahoma, it's huge. I mean, people think it's this WWE stuff, this crapola. It's not. It's conditioning that you know is off the chart. In terms of techniques and using your hands and shedding blockers, does wrestling help at all?
It really does. I personally think so because, yeah, it helps get the hands off, hands off people, helps you move your feet, helps you think constantly, what they're gonna do, and then what you have to do to, to reflect that. I mean, not reflect it, but counter that.
Sure.
And then it's a nice game, conditioning game. It messes with your mind, conditioning wise. If you think you're gonna give up, you just lay on your back. But I think yes, wrestling did help me towards for football.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Technique and like you said with conditioning, people have no idea. Let alone guys that are shedding weight and are trying to get down to a weight for that particular match. I mean, I think from a standpoint of conditioning, it may even go beyond football.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Just incredible. When you watch, by the way, you watch the NFL games or college games, and you see specific linebackers. Are there guys in the NFL that you say, that's the way I want to play. That's the way I want to be?
Yeah, there's a couple. One of my favorites is Ray Lewis. I mean, I like the way his intensity before the games and when he makes the plays. I like his intensity. His intensity is always up. That's what I like about it, and that's who I would like to, be like.
I sat back the other day and watched TCU, watched that broadcast on CBS College Sports, and thought, wow, SMU comes into that place. That place is hard. They had won 22 straight at home in the top 5 in most consecutive wins at home. Now they're coming in, ticked off, and there's been talk about, well, they're not the defensive team they were. They're not the team they were. Are they as good as last year or not?
Well, based on the film, I wouldn't know because I didn't play last year.
Right.
I mean, I was on the sideline, but I mean, every team, you can say that they're bad or good, but every team comes out, willing to play their hardest. So you never know. They could be, you could say that they're bad one game, but come out super intense for the next game, wanting to play. So you can never doubt a team.
And you can expect them after a loss. They're
exactly.
They're going to be just a tad on the tick side. That injury last year after Missouri in practice, that's tough, man. To get ready, you show that you can play. You're on special teams, and suddenly you're hurt. That's got to be down.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, things happen, and I just gotta, just come back from it and do the best you can this year.
Jake, you've done that. Good start, despite Michigan. Good start. You've played well. Thanks for being with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Jake Feely wears number 42, Oceanside High School, injured last year, got the redshirt year after playing just 3 games, and now playing a whole bunch and starting for this San Diego State team. Coming up next on Ask Next Now, away from football, into the newest sport on Montezuma Mesa, here at San Diego State. It is women's lacrosse. It's a report from Mike Costa when we come right back. There's a new sport. Not a new sport per se, been around, but it's new here on Montezuma Mesa at San Diego State. It is women's lacrosse. It starts in the spring, a preview, as it were, and a report from my colleague Mike Costa.
In the spring of 2012, a brand new sport will begin on Montezuma Mesa. Women's lacrosse will be the 19th collegiate sport at San Diego State. New head coach Kylie White had her hands full, and she had a lot to sell to her first ever recruiting class.
Because it is mostly an East Coast sport, being able to play outside year-round, not have to shovel the turf, and I think also these girls are excited just to be the first and set new traditions and to make history more than anything. Like they're the first, and that's really, really exciting.
The opportunity to be the first at a program was a big selling point for freshman Isabel Pickett, who comes to San Diego State all the way from Australia.
It's something really unique, I guess, to be a part of, and starting up a new team and culture, and yeah, it just was really appealing to me to be like part of the first ever women's lacrosse team at San Diego State. But not only that, like Southern California, really. I really like Coach White's coaching philosophies. I was talking to her ages before getting like properly recruited, and just the outlook she had on the team and for the future I really agreed with.
With a brand new program, this year's team is unique in that it's made up of mostly all freshmen. White says that with such a young team, the potential for growth is limitless.
I never knew how many questions that I would be getting on a daily basis, but it just shows that they want to learn and that they're excited about getting better and want to be challenged every day, and that's what I came here for.
Despite the youth, sophomore transfer Maris Walsh says the team has already made strides and expects to be competitive right away.
You would think that we've been playing together for a while. The way we're gelling together, and it's just amazing the friendships we've made off the field. We're doing really well together. We may have some wins and losses, but I think we will be, from the looks of it, we've been doing really good. But I mean, I think it just depends on who we play and how ready we are, but I think we're going to do really good.
I have great expectations of winning. I'm not going to sit back and wait. I think that's not my nature. It's not Coach Lauren's nature. Like, we came here to win. We recruited girls that want to win right away, and that's our goal. So that's what we're going to do.
With a brand new field and the start of a new program, anticipation is high for the rapidly approaching 2012 season. For more information on the women's lacrosse team, check out GoAztecs.com. I'm Mike Costa for Aztecs Now.
That's our show, Aztecs Now, after the off week and coming on a huge game against TCU. Beaten at home by SMU, unexpected and upset. They've had 2 losses. No one expected they would come in with 2 losses. Now the Aztecs have 1 and making sure they don't have a second loss. A huge game. 7:30 on Saturday. Tickets still available at Qualcomm Stadium. The game is on CBS College Sports and Channel 4. I'll have the radio broadcast on AM 600 KOGO. That is Aztecs Now. We will see you next week.